You wake up to the sound of your roommate's alarm. It's not even your alarm, but now you're awake, again, for the third time, and the sun hasn't even committed to rising yet. You check your phone. Three new Canvas notifications, two emails from professors who apparently don't sleep, and a $12 charge for a textbook you forgot to return from last semester. You lie still, debating whether to face the world or just major in sleep paralysis. You pick up your hydro flask from the floor and take a swig of disappointment flavored water. It tastes like student debt and social anxiety. College doesn't start at 8 a.m., it starts the moment you remember you're in college, and it never ends. You drag yourself to class, not because you care, but because you calculated that if you skip one more, your GPA will enter hospice care. The professor speaks like a medieval ghost. Their slides haven't changed since 2007. Everyone around you looks equally dead inside. Someone's eating chips at full volume. Someone else is knitting. There's always one kid who actually likes being here. You hate them. You don't even know their name, but you hate them with your whole being. And then the pop quiz. You feel your soul leave your body and hover in the fluorescent lights. You guess every answer with the confidence of a raccoon in a chemistry lab. You leave that class not smarter, just older. You decide to drive to campus one day, just once, just to save time. And that's how you discover that parking in college is a myth, a fantasy, a cruel social experiment. You pay hundreds of dollars for a permit that grants you access to a gravel wasteland 6 zip codes away. Every actual parking spot is either taken, under construction, or aggressively ticketed by someone who materializes out of thin air the second your tire kisses a yellow line. Back in your dorm, there's laundry everywhere, none of it clean. You can't tell if that smell is your socks or your dreams rotting in real time. You tell yourself you'll do laundry after your nap, which becomes a 3 hour coma broken only by hunger and a Canvas notification that makes your stomach drop into your ankles. A 10-page paper is due tomorrow. You open your laptop and stare into the void. Your essay title, The Systematic Oppression of Hope in Academia, bold, italic, centered. That's as far as you get. You try to write, but your brain is buffering. You scroll Instagram instead. A girl from your high school is in Greece. A guy who dropped out is now a crypto millionaire. You're in sweatpants with an unpaid parking ticket taped to your mini fridge. Someone knocks on your door. It's your floor mate asking if you're coming to the theme party tonight. The theme is Y2K Apocalyptic Rodeo. You laugh, say maybe, and immediately retreat to the safety of darkness and artificial light. You think about going just to feel something, but then you remember what a party looks like. Sticky floors, lukewarm drinks, people yelling over TikTok music like it's the Hunger Games, and someone crying in a bathtub by midnight. You stay in and binge watch 4 episodes of a show you don't even like. You tell yourself it's self care. At some point, you eat a cold slice of pizza while sitting on the floor, knees to chest, like a feral Victorian child. You used to have goals, you used to have motivation. Now, your biggest accomplishment this week is remembering your Zoom password without resetting it. Your parents ask how things are going. You lie. You say things are good. You say you're managing. You say the dining hall food is not bad. That's code for, I have developed a parasocial relationship with the omelet station guy. You see couples on campus holding hands like their love can survive finals week. You know better. You've watched too many relationships dissolve in library stairwells and passive aggressive Venmo requests. Romance in college is either wildly unstable or deeply delusional. You either trauma bond over shared exhaustion or try to flirt between exams and existential dread. Someone once asked your attachment style in the middle of a party. You said extra credit. You try to make friends, but everyone's either chronically busy, socially exhausted, or already has a group chat that feels more exclusive than the Met Gala. So you end up sitting alone in a study lounge at 2 a.m. next to a girl, crying into her energy drink, and a guy watching anime with no headphones. Time becomes fake. Days blur. You lose track of what's due when. You write a discussion post at 4:47 a.m. and spell analysis with a number in it. You hit submit. You feel nothing. You try to eat healthy. Once. You buy vegetables and watch them die in your fridge like a tiny expensive tragedy. You go back to instant ramen and emotional instability. You wonder if any of this is worth it. You pay thousands of dollars to learn things you forget the minute the exam ends. You compete for unpaid internships that demand 5 years of experience and a minor in time travel. You attend seminars that feel like TED Talks hosted by sentient Ambien. You take gen eds that make you question who decided anthropology was your destiny. You write essays for classes you didn't choose, graded by TAs who haven't slept since orientation. You get emails every day about mental health resources, but appointments are booked until next semester. You consider screaming into a pillow, but remember your roommate is on a Zoom call in your shared closet. You can't cry in peace, even your breakdowns are scheduled. You think about dropping out once a week, just disappearing, becoming a forest witch or an Instagram barista or that person who lives in a van and makes sourdough. But then you remember the debt, the obligation, the sunk cost of 3 semesters and 12 panic attacks. You're too tired to quit, too broke to stop, too caffeinated to sleep, too behind to catch up. You spiral, then stabilize, then spiral again. It's like emotional whiplash with the syllabus. Every time you think it can't get worse, the group project arrives, the academic equivalent of psychological warfare. You do all the work. One person disappears. One person copies Wikipedia. One person just vibes. So you carry the project and your resentment like a full time job. And then you still get a B. You convince yourself the degree will be worth it. Someday. You picture the future like a movie montage: suit, office, success, vague adult stability. But for now, you're just trying not to cry in public. You realize college isn't the best time of your life. It's the most expensive anxiety simulator ever created. You learn things, sure, but most of what you learn isn't in a classroom. You learn how to budget $0 across 7 meals, how to pretend you're fine when you're emotionally flatlined, how to juggle 10 responsibilities with the executive function of a potato. You keep going, not because it's fun, but because everyone else is pretending to. You sit in lectures where no one makes eye contact. You ride crowded buses in silence. You spend weekends in libraries where time dies and people cry over citations. You study so hard your brain turns into soup, and then you still forget what the midterm was about because you haven't slept in 3 days and your body runs on Red Bull and vibes. And when it's all over, they hand you a piece of paper and say, "Congrats," as if that fixes anything. As if you're not about to enter the job market with a resume that lists good at Googling as your top skill. But you survive. That's what college really is: a slow, chaotic, expensive form of survival. And maybe that's the worst part. It's not the lectures or the quizzes or the bad Wi Fi. It's that deep down, you're still holding on to the hope that maybe, just maybe, the next semester won't suck. And then they assign a group project in week 1. And you remember